Today, really, for the next 30 minutes, 35 minutes, just want to talk a little bit about what we have as a partner and our connection here with Prianto, who we've been together for some, 15 plus years, I think. And the backdrop really is the connection we had through Uniprint. And I guess a lot of people know us from our days of Uniprint Infinity with our software suite, managing the virtual enterprise areas of Citrix VMware, and using our compression techniques and PDF capabilities that we have, that was part of a pattern that grew up over that time, in order to be available today. Come in, then do send them in via email. You can send them in to Ryan or myself, and if you want to, at the end, we'll have a few minutes as well for some Q&A. So today's topics, really what I'd like to do is present to you some of the information we have around the changes in the market that we're seeing, and what we are doing to address some of those changes, and what we would like to do and work with our partner community through Prianto, who invited you to this session today. And what the future challenges are of work, the Infinity Cloud, where we fit into that space in terms of supporting customers with our cloud offerings. We're all seeing this new way of working, and as we share this out to the partners that join us and beyond, what we are really looking to talk about is what we can do to help partners in this aspect to grow new business, and what we do for customers in order to solve those requirements they have when it comes to new ways of working. We also questioned during this 30-minute session about why are we printing. There's a whole new mindset here of being able to transition from pure printing into a balanced approach of capture. And we've introduced our very own capabilities to take print and deliver it into capture. We help people migrating to the cloud. And I want to spend a bit of time just on our intelligent capture workflow, which enables a lot of future capabilities. And then we can close by a discussion to what you might like to do in joining us as a Process Fusion and Prianto partner. So just to jump into this then, what I guess we've all seen is the effects that we've had over the last year or so with the COVID-19, the pandemic. And I guess we've all read the reports from IDC and Quocirca. And these basically illustrate some of the complexities of keeping businesses running, the changes and short-term adjustments that were needed to be made in order to adapt really to a different approach. And a lot of that was to move into a distributive cloud-based process, but more digitization. And we'll see from these figures and reports. And if you haven't had a chance and you'd like to see more of these reports, let us know. We are presenting our processes of print and capture in the Quocirca report that is due out very soon. And if you make contact with us, we'll be able to look to share some of that information as well. Those challenges looking forward. Now, I think anyone on this call would probably have experienced some change in their lives from the process of lockdown, the process of sharing information, where you need to print, the security practices. I think there is a raft of change that is already being put into place, and even more changes that we'll see as we come out of the pandemic and into a trickle of the effects that that's caused, and will continue to change in the way that we address working in an office, social distancing, working from home, how we react in collaborative working spaces. And some, and not everyone, would be looking at what's involved in being able to utilize equipment, contactless, touchless, and perhaps limiting their space between work environments. So this offers up quite a lot of changes to what was traditionally recognized as managed print service, managed service provision across the both print capture environments. And clearly walking up to a device today, waving a card, proximity card, access it. You want to minimize touch points. And with Capture, we want to maximize how much we can digitize. So what can Uniprint offer, what Process Fusion can offer under our Uniprint Infinity solution is that we help to solve some of the printing issues when it comes to migrating to the cloud. We have a very simplified approach. We have our solution in the cloud. We can share what that is available to you, and really our next steps following today, once we've done our introduction across our portfolio and what we can offer. And as a partner, what we would like to do is to take our partners on the journey into trialing, testing, looking how they can best utilize this solution with their customers. And as you see this unfold, you'll see that we've built together more than just print management. It's all the basics of being able to reduce costs, simplify and improve user experience, and to manage secure printing across a whole organization. In fact, in many of our deployments right now, that's global as well as European. And because of the background that we have in terms of the virtualization, then you'll see that from things like iGel, VMware, Citrix, and Windows virtual desktop environments today, that it's all become a very important factor when having conversations with customers in terms of how, where they want to improve their print security. But at the same time, whilst they're all scattered in different office environments, then they need to manage bandwidth consumption as well. And this is what we do with our Uniprint Infinity products, both our Infinity Cloud and our Infinity Suite. And we can talk more about this through the use of a couple of our customers. And to share with you, one of the council offices moved to the cloud. They've been now in cloud for a couple of years with us, and they have, as you can see, around 300 people, 5 different locations. So utilizing their background knowledge, experience, what they wanted to achieve, we listened to the customer's requirements, and then we could move them very quickly into our cloud space. They also benefit, of course, but when they came to work from home, how straightforward it was for us to be able to provide that through using a mobile device. And for them, this was a not too difficult solution because we'd already taken them to a cloud environment. Of course, we've had many customers since that looking at very similar situations in engaging with us to help them with some of their requirements too. Here's an interesting case with Nacro printing across 100 UK offices, and you can see here from a brief clip, and all of our case studies are available on our website, so you can have a look at more and more detail of what we can do helping customers in the future. From a lot of this learning and practices that's been dealt with over the years. Here, printer mapping was a very key part of this requirement with 900 different users, 250 printers. And this was to manage print drivers and in a Citrix environment. So one thing that we do extremely effectively is how we manage printers and users in virtual print environments. And this is, I think, where we are really keen to help a lot of our partners today, is if they're in virtual environments, if they're using iGel, if they're in a situation moving into cloud or Windows virtual desktop, then a great opportunity to engage with us. And we'd love to be in there with you, helping with our solutions. Here we have a view of what our cloud print management dashboard actually looks like. And you can see on that very simple menu structure how we can manage users, secure print, mapping of drives, and to the left is a summary which I'll let you view, which really brings together a lot of the technologies and capability that has been available through our Uniprint suite over the last 20 plus years as it's grown into the latest versions of 10.04 and 10.05. And whilst we have the Infinity Suite, which is available for those that want to manage it themselves in their own data center, if you want to work with a true cloud SaaS environment, then we have our cloud print management system you see here, Infinity Cloud. And you can see we cover all the requirements from secure print to user management, our compression and conversion capabilities, profiling so that we can understand the end user endpoint printer. We have pull printing capabilities, statistics and archiving, all of this together with various aspects of mobile cloud print as well. So as we talk more and more about working in the cloud, it is now expanding from people working between the office environment and the home environment. And so our solution has expanded to meet with all these new requirements across different agnostic, if you like, devices. So whether you're on a printer, an MFP, Chromebook, and even Universal Print Driver that Microsoft have launched, we're a part of all of the print processes. And so we have a touch point right across office and home environments. If anyone on the call wants to learn more about the detail of any of these aspects, then following this introduction, then we'll be really pleased to help you on that process. So the other question we do ask is, why are we printing anyway? Because as we move more and more to a digital world, and documents are needed to be available wherever you are, your decision as to whether you print the document now sits at a traffic light of saying, well, do I need to print? Is this relevant to print, or could this be passed through to a digital process? So we're going to talk a little bit now over the next 10 minutes or so on our digital processing environment. So if you chose not to print, or if you were processing a document that was originally sent to you by email, you can still press the print button, because as we know, print is the button you press to deploy the paper document. But that paper document now reaches the center point here, and then the decision is, well, let me push this back into an intelligent automated platform known as our CapturePoint cloud, or we could route it directly onto paper and have a paper printed document. So built into our applications now, we can use our CapturePoint. Now it's also available as a standalone intelligent platform. We'll take paper to digital. And now as we see a lot of applications like HR documents, warehousing documents, stock control, even invoices, which is a major paper intensive document, we can now move all of that through our intelligent capture process. And we'll take a little bit of a closer look at how that works. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're going through from print to capture. You'll see that same window here with our Infinity Cloud print window. And whilst you're selecting your documents from wherever you are, and you want to have a trackable print managed environment, you can also select and audit this trail as to whether you've printed out to paper or you printed out to capture, by routing it through to the capture engine, which is the CapturePoint engine you see in the top right corner. On the lower, you can see the menu that the document arrives at when it goes into various stages, which is fully customized into the document being drawn in through a verification stage. If required, it can be verified and checked. If it needs clerk or approvals, those can be attended to, and then it will be passed through as completed to a back-end environment, which we see in the lower left corner. When it arrives here, then it can be populated into any of these environments. There's API connectors that we can make available. Some are available today and deployed already, but it's pretty much an open platform, both in the document intake and the file output. We are also working with customers who have taken documents in from one cloud service, processed it through the intelligence, and then outputted it back into another cloud service. It may be the same or a different cloud service. So we can take documents that have little intelligence, they've been scanned, and then we can output it as a indexable, searchable document using a process to take it in, intelligently capture, and out. So as we look at that process a little bit more, as we populate here to the left, you see the ecosystem that we have with print and capture. To the right here, a slightly larger image where we can now look at a process of a document coming through those particular phases. And just to point out at this stage that this design for our CapturePoint engine, and it belongs to Process Fusion as part of the portfolio, we are able to set up profiles that are used to extract information from the various documents. So we're not using templates. We're not just looking at areas on a piece of paper. We're actually looking at a profile. And that profile can identify information much more effectively within the document, but also has the ability to look up information. So if you're looking up suppliers, notes, and invoices, then you can do a match, and then that can be safely passed on to the back-end system, knowing that it's utilized all the intelligent capabilities to review the document before it processes it. So here you can see now a look at how agile, how flexible our CapturePoint intelligence system is, where we can index it over here on the left-hand side. You can see that we have little green lights that will come up that give us the degree of accuracy of its ability, of its confidence level. You see the document being presented on the screen, and we can do the line items and show them, as well as doing the lookups if required. Very intelligent, very capable, automated, agile, and flexible solution that we are able to offer, as I'm saying, as an independent solution as part of a capture application, or it could be as part of our ecosystem deployed with cloud printing. Then we turn our thoughts to, well, what documents need to be processed? Well, we can process pretty much any piece of paper through our capture. Obviously, in the simplest end, we got the invoices, which are sometimes in very good quality and sometimes need depixels or need to be straightened, rotated. So all of those processes are built in to CapturePoint. You can see things from receipts, if they're being bulk scanned, to any document that may be HR, employment related. And you'll see earlier, as you begin to think about security measures, is a very key part of the whole process, end to end. So we have a tick in the box to be able to support each of these capabilities, along with tracking and analytics. Again, end to end, you'll see that from every robotic part of that process, through to intelligent capture, through to the tracking and the validation, we can take all of this, digitize it quite simply. Now here is the sort of workflow that we have that would essentially take place if you were bringing in email, or you might be using a high-speed scanner, you might be using a fax machine, you may be using email or an MFP copier. Whichever option you choose, we simply intake this information, and through that process I've just mentioned, the engine here with its classification and learning capabilities will manage all that paperwork coming in its thousands, its tens of thousands. So the guys at Prianto will be only too pleased to give you some pricing later on, as per requirements, if that's of interest, and then we can take that discovery process and help you scope any opportunities, and using the outputs as well. And whether you are in a healthcare environment, insurance, finance environments, then we can look at a solution that is a good fit to support you and your customer base. So further into that, here's a very good close-up showing the layout for administrator to be able to see and process that document set. Now, I mentioned about invoices, and this traditionally is where you're looking at multiple pages and you're taking line items. But we can also take documents that are just single pages, a draft of information, and extract the information from that document, recognizing the key elements in it and identifying it into the indexed fields on the left-hand side. As we do that, and we take these different variables coming in, so we can deal with PDFs, PNGs, JPEGs, and TIFFs, and we can output anything from XML, JSON, and CSVs, and the API connectors that we can define, which is of importance to you. Here is an interesting case that one of our partners has been working with in terms of capturing vaccine data, a report form which extracts 4 key information line items in here, and as they capture that, that is processed into backend for future reference and searchability. So as I say, we can broaden this out to any type of application or capture requirement that you may have. And you'll see the documents do not have to be in any particular format. The information could be scattered on the page. We can search various parts of that page in order to identify and locate the piece of information that we want to index it to. So from here you can see receipts and statements we've been processing, these vaccine reports. Digital mail is another key area that's being used today, partly with the issues around the pandemic, to be able to capture that information and forward it into our capture solution and onward into a document management or ECM system. I mentioned earlier about the security practice, and it's very key, and we recognize that, and it's highly important at all stages of any document process. And it's not cheap to ensure that you have all the compliances available, but it's one that Process Fusion invests in order to ensure that we are fully compliant at all levels with both documents at rest and documents that are on the move. So everything from GDPR to SOC 2 are very key compliances in today's requirements for security in terms of document processing. So as we come to the last couple of slides, I guess I just wanted to draw your thoughts to why be a partner with us with Process Fusion, and you'll see a few key things. I guess if I was to pick 2 or 3 out, very experienced software developer background, agile, which has been the company over the past 20+ years. I think it adds a lot of value into existing solutions and allows customers to expand and drive out new ways of working, which we mentioned on the outset. We can support knowledge sharing, partner demonstrations. We can help get you set up in a virtual environment so that you can utilize the cloud capture. And I think we're innovative. We're very, the whole top down is have the depth of innovation in order to consider any change that is happening in the environment so that we can adapt quickly and help support ongoing options that are needed. So here's a final summary which essentially just draws out the key areas of next steps. If you are interested and you want to take forward any commercial discussions, we're open for business. If you are looking to be able to present agile, innovative solutions to customers, if you're looking to develop as a partner with technical and sales developments, then we can provide you with the skills that we have from our dev team expertise from HQ, and hopefully a little bit of skills from our UK team as well. And we can support you going forward with any new opportunities that you would see in any document process or print environment. We touch on all of these platforms and partners. So if you're working in any of the space that we've mentioned with any of the partners that we've mentioned, and we're agnostic, so we could be on this list. These are just a few that are very much connected with us. If you do any of these things, then we'd be really keen to take this forward and build a partnership and relationship with you. So just want to thank you very much for that. That's my 30 minutes just about done. I'll hand you back to Ryan just to conclude, and thank you again for listening.